Hey everyone, today we're talking about fonts, how to choose the right one for your design, and what to avoid as a beginner. Fonts are one of those things that can make or break a design. They can completely change how your work feels modern, elegant, playful, or bold. Let's go step by step and look at how to pick fonts for your next project. Before choosing a font, ask yourself, what am I designing? A logo, a poster, a business card, or maybe a thumbnail? The purpose matters because fonts should match the message. A fun handwritten font might look great on some handcraft brand, but not on a tech logo. Every font has its own personality. Let's look at the main font categories: serif, sans serif, display, script, and monospace fonts. Serif fonts feel traditional and trustworthy. They have little strokes or feet at the ends of letters and work great for formal or printed designs. Sans serif fonts are clean and modern. They don't have those extra strokes, so they look smooth and simple, perfect for digital designs, logos, and minimal layouts. Display fonts are bold and decorative. They're made to grab attention, great for titles, posters, or headers, but not for body text. Then we have script fonts, sometimes called handwriting fonts. These look like cursive or real handwriting. They can feel elegant, creative, or personal, depending on the style. Use them for short text, quotes, or personal brands, but avoid using them in long paragraphs because they're harder to read. And finally, monospace fonts, where every letter takes up the same amount of space. They give off a technical, typewriter look and work well for coding, tech brands, or when you want a structured, modern vibe. Each category has its own mood, so choose based on how you want your design to feel. And since logos rely so heavily on font choice, let's look at what makes a logo font special. These are fonts that look unique or custom made, perfect for branding, but not for paragraphs. In general, a logo font is a typeface used to create a word mark, which relies solely on text to represent a brand. A good logo font is simple, strong, and easy to recognize. Check your brand name written in a few different fonts and notice how each one changes the overall feel of the logo. Alpha Slab font feels bold and confident. Great for brands that want a strong vintage look. Bolby font is also bold, but a little more playful and friendly. Chonburi has that stylish, decorative vibe. It feels creative and a bit artistic. Cinzel brings in a sense of tradition and elegance, perfect for something classic or timeless. Damien gives a handwritten, personal touch. It feels creative, human, and relaxed. And Courier Prime has that structured, typewriter feel, clean, minimal, and technical. Each one says something different, even though the word is the same. That's the power of font choice in logo design. Now, once you've chosen a main font you like, the next step is learning how to pair it with another one. Pairing fonts is about contrast, not conflict. Use one main font for headlines or logos and another for smaller text. Try a bold sans serif with a lighter serif font when it feels balanced and readable. Avoid pairing two decorative fonts together, yet they'll fight for attention. One font should lead, the other should support. So in other words, font's contrast is important to consider regardless of the font's classification: serif or sans serif, script or display, because in many instances, too much is too much. Multiple display typefaces used together can mix messages, while too many similar letter forms or weights together become a visually homogeneous soup. A common question is, how many fonts should you actually use in one design? In most cases, a few is enough. One for headings or logos, and one for body text or smaller details. Some brands stick to just a single font family, using different weights like bold or style like italic. That's totally fine, and it often looks cleaner. Once you start using like 4 or more fonts, the design can easily start to feel messy or unbalanced. So the rule is simple: 1 to 3 fonts per design, and keep it consistent across everything you create. That's what gives your brand a professional, recognizable look. Sometimes a font looks amazing until you actually try to read it. If your audience has to squint or guess what it says, the design doesn't work. Always zoom out or shrink your design to test readability. If it's still clear at small sizes, it's a keeper. Now let's talk about something a lot of beginners miss: font licenses. Not every font you download online is free to use. Actually, many fonts require a commercial license if you're designing for clients. That means if you use a random font you found somewhere, you could technically get into legal trouble later. To stay safe, always check the license. If you're not sure where a font came from, don't use it for commercial work. Here are a few trusted places to get fonts safely. Google Fonts. Free, easy, and available everywhere. FontShare. Another great free source. And for premium typefaces, you can check My Fonts or Envato if you want paid options. Once you find a font you like, tweak it a little to make it unique, personal. Convert it to vector and edit it letter by letter. Small changes make a big difference, especially for logo design. That's how many brands create a custom typography logo look. Now, if you'd like to explore some great typefaces to experiment with, here are a few designer favorites worth checking out. Bodoni, elegant and timeless, great for fashion or luxury brands. Futura, clean and geometric, perfect for modern, minimal layouts. Avenir, balanced and professional, fits almost any brand style. Playfair display, stylish with character, great for headings or a premium feel. Railway, sleek and versatile, ideal for both logos and body text. Each of these gives you a solid foundation to work from and can instantly elevate the look of your design. So next time you pick a font, think about what your design is saying, not just how it looks. Make sure it's readable, fits your purpose, and that you have the right license to use it. A great design starts with great type choices. In the next video, we'll put everything together and create a brand kit, a simple collection of fonts, colors, and visuals that define your brand's look and feel. Thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, comment, and see you in the next one.